Welcome back, everybody, to Pick and Roll for today's live stream here on the Board YouTube channel, part of the Hammer Betting Network, and presented by the FanDuel Sportsbook. And what a run it has been for the show. All time, we're up 32.5 units, but we are on a 22-5 run, more than 16 units of profit in the last 20 days. And we are looking to keep it going here today, just as we did on Friday when we had 4 picks, but one of them voided, and we had 3 winners. So it was a 3-0 sweep overall on the Friday slate. Pips, my co-host, has been absolutely crushing it lately. All tracked and publicly available for your viewing on BetStamp as well on the Pick and Roll profile. So if you guys have been cashing and you enjoy along the way for today's show, make sure you do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for shows like this every weekday morning at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. We're doing this show for free. These picks are being given out for free. All we ask is a little bit of support in return. And to make it even sweeter, we have a special guest joining us for today's show, Prop Bomb at Prop Bomb on Twitter, who has been crushing it this NBA season, is joining us on the show as well. He will be here at 10:15 Eastern Time, so 30 minutes into the show. But before we bring him in, me and Pips, as usual, are going to run through the entire NBA slate. We'll hear Pips' free picks, and then when Prop Bomb comes in, we'll hear his picks for today, and then we will go to the chat for Q&A. So send in your questions over the course of the show. If you want to get in on the Q&A, make sure you do head over to the YouTube channel at The Board HQ, and I will save them. You can send them in now, and I will save them for later on in the show. But we'll bring in my co-host, PipsNBA. Hopefully, Pips, you did have a good weekend here, but we can start with the top of the board. We have got the
I,
Portland
I,
Trailblazers.
I would actually say good thing we didn't have the show over the weekend because I got completely crushed. So, yeah,
It happens.
hopefully bad variants used over the weekend so I can give it back to winning today. So, yeah.
Well, let's hope for that big time. We got Portland away at Philadelphia to get us started for today. We have +3 for the Portland Trailblazers, who have been a pesky team this season for sure. The Sixers, Joel Embiid has been a confirmed shutdown for the season, so we shall see what they look like if they still actually want to make the playoffs. But we've got a game here. Is there anything you have thoughts-wise for this game?
Not much for this one. The thing is, it's tough defend on all the ratings. It's tough to look at the Portland as a serious team, but then you look at the last couple of weeks overall on the season. But then you look at last like month and a half, they are being actually great defense, and with Klingon and Kamara playing, they are being playing well. Last night lost in in overtime against the Cavs. So I don't know who is playing, who is going to be arrested. On the side of the 76ers, Embiid out as you said, but Paul George is questionable. So if Embiid is out for the rest of the season, I don't know how many games will Paul George play because that doesn't make much sense. Even though he said he put his podcast on the pause so he can commit, and then 2 days later Embiid out for the season, so it's funny. Uh, yeah, Maxi is playing injured. That's a fact. But he still scored like 30 something plus points against the Knicks on injured hand and 30 plus field goal attempts. So, like, he is still pushing hard. So, yeah, I know no opinions on it.
Nothing for this game doesn't mean there can't be something else along the way. We'll go to the next game up on the slate. We have the Golden State Warriors, who are away at the Charlotte Hornets as 12.5-point favorites. Golden State have been playing well since the acquisition of Jimmy Butler. Steph Curry last week put on an outrageous display. I think it was 56 points in the end, but he had 12 threes made. Just, an historic Steph Curry night, along with many others. And they're up to 7th in the Western Conference and worthy as big favorites here. But Pips, I know you've got something on this game as well. What are you looking at to play here?
Just to say, like, they won 7 out of last 8 with Butler, and then Butler goes out and they lose to the fucking Sixers. So it seems like Jimmy Butler is kind of important for this team.
Yeah.
So yeah, bet on this game is an under on Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges points, rebounds and assists. Sorry, guys, rebounds and assists. It looks. I'll show you on the Props Madness, but let's first find it here. It's minus 122. Minus 120 is out there.
You want 10.5?
11.5 Miles Bridges under rebounds.
Oh, under. Sorry, under. So we've got minus 122, which is very close to best in market. So we'll play it here minus 122.
there are some minus 20s, minus 120, but yeah, one of the best in the market. So this one is interesting. When you look at the entire season, he's kind of over in 50-50 of these games when you exclude some overtimes, and when we add some expected range like 26 to 38 minutes tonight, because the spread is 12.5, and I will honestly expect Golden State Warriors to blow them out. We can see that he averaged 11.5 on the season, under in a lot of these games, 60% of the games. But the thing is, when we look games with Lamelo playing, then it then he is under in 21 out of 26 games. And when we exclude bottom two teams, so only bottom two teams in rebounds and assists allowed to forwards, which are Wizards and Cavaliers, which is weird. We get that he is under this line in 17 out of 19 games, averaging 9.3 rebounds and assists. So when he's not playing teams that leagues rebounds and assists, absolutely bottom of the league. And when he's playing with Lamelo, he averaged 9.3. We didn't even include games where Mark Williams is playing. In those games, he is under in 6 out of 7, averaging 9.6. And the best thing about this is they played Golden State Warriors just 6 days ago, and he had 9 rebounds and assists in a 36 points blowout loss, and the game was without Lamelo. So now Lamelo is playing, so his numbers drop a ton when Lamelo is playing. We've seen moves from 11.5 to 9.5. So now Lamelo is playing, and the spread is huge. So it could be a blowout. The matchup is difficult, and his numbers are off. So yeah, this is our first bet.
Okay, there we go. Miles Bridges under 11.5 rebounds plus assists at minus 122 at FanDuel. Very close to the best price in market, but as always, see what's available in your region for that one. We can go to the next game here, and I know Pips as well. You've got something in this game here. What are you looking at in the Washington Wizards game against the Miami Heat?
Yeah, this will be a matchup wise, and we are going to Bema Adebayo. Bema Adebayo over 19.5 points. I think it's on best on the market on FanDuel.
So over 19.5 here on FanDuel, we have minus 118. I'll just compare to see where that stacks up to the rest. And again, one of the top prices in market here, minus 115, also available. We'll play the minus 118 here at FanDuel.
Yeah, I will say like there is I think one more place that has that kind of line. Maybe a couple of, but most of the market is already at 20.5. So yeah, you can still find 19.5. I would say this is mostly like a recent form, which is kind of from late January to over the last like month and a half, maybe even less, like last 5 weeks. Bam Adebayo is being producing, which is huge difference. We can see that he averaged 22.1 over the last 14 games, over in 9 out of 14. But those are games without since the Jimmy Butler trade. If you take a look at the games with Jimmy Butler, you can see completely different picture. Like he in the games with Jimmy Butler, he averaged 15.4, and if you take a look at the last 14 without Jimmy Butler, it's 21, even like 22 points average. So it's 7 points average difference since Jimmy Butler trade, and his minutes are up, his usage is up, his efficiency is finally up. So he's trending up, and he covered against some good teams. Like we can look at the last night overtime game. He scored 30 points against the Knicks, who allow seventh least points to the opposing centers, and overall a really rough matchup for the bigs. He scored 26 against Orlando Magic, then 21 against Cleveland Cavaliers, 22 against Boston, 27 Thunder, 24 against the Bucks. So he's being playing really well, and we can look at this like He mostly, even when he's under this, he's at 18, 18, 18, 19 points. So he scored 18 plus in 13 out of the last 15, and now gets the best possible matchup in the league. He played against Wizards earlier this season, scored 32 points in that game. Everyone was playing, even Butler, Hero, everyone was playing in that game, and he scored 32. And it makes sense. When we look at the play types, it's all green. They allow third most to pick and roll rollman, his most dominant play type. They allow second most free throws, eighth most spot up, sixth most isolation, seventh most post up, sixth most transition. So they are bottom eight in all of his ways of scoring. Looking at similar players, maybe not so similar this season because the Bio has a down season, but he'll average 20 points last year. And you can see Sabonis 29, Şengün 26, Şengün 27, AD had 29. Even look at the last couple of games. Mark Williams had 24. So yeah, the bigs are always scoring huge numbers against the Wizards. They've been historical bad defense against the fives for like last 3 seasons in a row. So we are going to take the bio again. And when look at the in January, if you look at the like last, let's say 7 games when he played on back to back, it's not like he has some like huge drop off. It's just that he played great teams. Like he played since like late December 23 against the Orlando, huge terrible matchup against the Rockets, then 20, 19, 18. So not a huge drop off in back to back games.
So Bam Adebayo, I mean, you mentioned it's been more of a down year, but he's been playing a lot better as of late. So we're hoping to have another successful bet here on him today. But before we go any further, after the two free picks, we have Miles Bridges and we have Bam Adebayo. Before we go any further, a word from our presenting sponsor on the Board YouTube channel, the FanDuel Sportsbook, which has made the show possible for this season. We are so happy to have a presenting sponsor like FanDuel, one of the top books out there. But FanDuel, as much as we use it on the show sometimes, we also reference it throughout the duration of the show because it's such a great sports book to use pregame. But it doesn't stop once the game begins because it is one of the best places for live betting options in the NBA. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just beginning on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So even if you missed the first few minutes of the game or want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can make your picks from the first whistle until the final buzzer. I mean, the Raptors lately, they've been up double digits heading into like the last 5 minutes of a game. They blew the game to the Bulls. They almost blew it to the Magic. So, from the first whistle to the final buzzer, something is always bound to happen in the NBA. Plus, you can combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. So, however you want to play, now is the perfect time to join. New FanDuel customers get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Yes, $150 in bonus bets just for a $5 bet win. Just visit FanDuel.com/board to join today. That's FanDuel.com/board, or go to the link that is in the description wherever you are viewing or listening to this on YouTube or podcast form for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. But must be 21 plus and present in select states or Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC. First online real money wager only, $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets to expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelpline.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. As a reminder, if you haven't done so already, please do hit the like button on the stream. Also, make sure you are subscribed to the channel for shows like this every weekday morning. But we have a special show today because Prop Bomb is joining us at 10:15 Eastern time. That's in about 12 minutes or so. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But we'll get back to the slate here with Pips. Go through the rest of the games on the Monday slate. We have the Atlanta Hawks next up, playing against the Memphis Grizzlies. Atlanta +9 away from home against the Grizzlies, who've kind of struggled a little bit as of late, but should take care of business here today.
Yeah, they played some great teams lately. So yeah, uh, it's been rough. Like you can expect them to compete with against Thunder. They beat Miami, so yeah. Overall, they had tougher schedule. Like now, playing Detroit away is a part of that tough schedule. Yeah. So nothing to say about this. It only that John Morant is questionable, so it kind of will define how this game goes.
Absolutely. Three more games to go through on the slate today. Next up, we have a decently important game here. These two teams were top of the West for a while this season. Houston have slipped off a little bit and are now the fifth seed in the West. However, they're only 1.5 games back of that 2 seed spot. So again, an important game here against the Oklahoma City Thunder, where the Thunder are favored by 9.5. Do you think this is a fair price for OKC at home?
Uh, them being a back to back is something. Yeah, I don't think it should be this at this price, at this spread. But then looking at Eamon Thompson questionable, Dylan Brooks questionable, Alperen Şengün questionable, Tyrese questionable, and Fred VanVleet out. Kind of looks like a resting spot for the Houston, so I don't know what's going to happen. Someone will be out for sure. If it's Alp, they don't have a chance. If it's Eamon Thompson, still think that they don't have a chance. If it's Dylan Brooks or Tari Eason, okay, that doesn't change that much. Uh, but yeah, rough one.
Yeah, promises to be difficult as any team has had it against the Thunder this season. They have just been an absolute winning machine. Bets wise, anything you can do, or is it difficult because you just don't know the lineups for the Rockets?
Yeah, also Chet is questionable for the Thunder. Even though by using some more logic, he should play. Uh, he was just arrested last game, so like they are like sometimes teams arrest player on the first game of back to back so that they can play the second one because the second one was more important.
Yeah.
He's more important against Houston than against the Spurs. So I think he is going to play, and if they are healthy and we have players out, it could be rough for us to stick around, especially on the road. So I think, yeah, don't know. Need to target some unders and can't with this kind of huge
Yeah.
injury report.
Yep, that makes sense completely. About 8 minutes or so until we bring in our guest. Two more games for us to go through before that happens. Next up, it's the Sacramento Kings away at the Dallas Mavericks. Two teams that are in need of victories. They are the 9 and 10 seeds, respectively, in the Western Conference. They are both half a game back of the 6th seed, though, so it's very tight in the West. They have a bit of a comfy lead over the 11th place Suns. So it looks like these two teams will be very good or in a very good spot to at least make the play-in tournament. But both teams certainly, especially the Dallas Mavericks, had aspirations to be quite a bit better than that. So important game here. Sacramento favored by 2. Is there any insight you have for this one?
The tough one to bet on because Sabonis is now out. Honestly, don't know what these teams are going to look like. Uh, I do see like Sabonis went out in the last game, and then Jonas Valanciunas was the one playing, and he played huge minutes. So I don't know if that's going to be the case tonight, because last night he played 30 minutes. When he gets those minutes, like he's crushing this line. So usage probably was a bit lower, like 15%, which is a bit on the lower end when he is between like 14 percent and like 20%. He actually doesn't cover this line much, but I would say like this is a good matchup for him against Dallas, who will probably play, I don't know, Kai Jones at the 5. Like, who are they going to play? They don't have anyone else, and then it's a huge advantage for Jonas inside. But they could also play small, so I don't know. It's a weird spot to be like. I can predict the minutes for Jonas in this one, unfortunately. But I would look to, like, he played Dallas twice, 3 times this season, 13 minutes, 19 minutes, 18 minutes, and averaging 10 points. I mean, in 16 minutes on average. If he's playing 30 minutes tonight, he should be able to cover this 13 and a half line. Yeah. Last game he had 14 rebounds, uh, only one assist, which is interesting. But like 13 points, like he should be scoring more than that, right? Like if he's getting the minutes. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to bet here?
Yeah, I'm just thinking on the spot, like trying to predict the minutes. Made sense for him to play so many big minutes against Sabonis and Jabari in front court, but against the Kings, I don't know. Like, are they going to play him? Like, who is the backup five for the Kings now? They have an option with Trey Lyles at the five, small ball stuff,
Shout out Canada.
but yeah, but can they do it like for more than like 25 minutes? Uh, I don't know. I think they still need to play Jonas 20 or more
Well,
minutes, and
I mean, matchup wise today, you don't need a lot of size today.
yeah,
Like
that's the thing.
I'm not afraid of the Dwight Powell minutes at the five. Really, shout
Yeah,
out to Canada, but
I
yeah,
did,
he's
yeah,
not a rotation guy on a healthy team, really,
yeah. But I
or
don't
later
see.
rotation. Anyways, go ahead.
But I never seen any tendency from the Kings to go small. So last game, Sabonis went out. Sabonis went out in the first minute of the game, and
Okay.
Jonas came in and played big minutes. So sorry guys, I'm just trying to make a decision on this one. Jonas played standard rotation, like 7 minutes first, third quarter, 8 minutes, fourth quarter to close the game. Like big minutes for him. Um, I'll check some last season as well when he played 22 plus minutes, 20 to 32. He averaged 15 points. This season when he played 20 to 32, he averaged 14.5. When we exclude the mega tough matchups, yeah, I could be leaning towards on over on Jonas here. Yeah, let's make a third bet in this one, and let's bet Jonas over 13.5 points.
Okay. So we get there in the end. There's enough to like about it for Pips to make it official. Jonas Valanciunas over 13.5 points. Currently not up on FanDuel as there's quite a bit of uncertainty around this game. Wait, I actually don't know what I can't find this one. Where is it up?
A
Is there
lot of places have minus 120 on over 13.5 points.
Okay. 13.5 minus 120 on Jonas Valanciunas. There we go. And should
Yeah,
open up in other spots as well as we go.
yeah. I mean, just the adding part where single players scoring 26% more points than average. Putbacks they allow a ton of, and post up, and they're pick and roll poor. So yeah, overall good matchup, and I expect still good minutes. So yeah.
So over 13.5 will be the play here for JV. Over 13.5. Again, minus 120. As always, for all of your bets, shop around to find the best price in your region. Your region could be different to what we have. Your region could be different to what is widely available for the show. So that is what we'll be playing here. One more game to go through, and then we will bring in Prop Bomb, special guest, for his picks and his answer to your questions. It is the Detroit Pistons away at the Jazz. The Pistons are what a tear. They've been very impressive. 9-1 in the last 10. They're sixth in the East, comfortably sixth in the East, and honestly can move into the top four and get a home playoff seed realistically. Anything from you on this game here?
Yeah, I'll have like a small semi-game parlay on this one, and it will be Malik Beasley 4+ threes and Cade 8+ assists.
Okay, so definitely some correlation on that. So it'll be Malik Beasley, how many threes? 4+?
Yep.
And Cade Cunningham, 8+ assists.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. And minus 120 for that. Fourth
Yep.
official play of the day.
Yeah, just the thing with Cade, he's now playing a team that allows the most assists in the league. I would say. I think. Let me just check. Yeah, they allow third most assists in the entire league. And now, when you look at the games when he played teams who allow below above average assists, he had 8 plus in 17 out of the last 19 games. So yeah, it's an amazing matchup. So if you take a look at this overall, like great matchup, and yeah, he's covering this a lot, and I think there is a great correlation with this because not Tobias Harris should mean more minutes for Malik Beasley, and when you look at the games since injury of Ivy, in the games where Ivy was out, and when he is playing teams who allow above average threes, he scored 4 plus in 12 out of the 14. And one game includes the Utah Jazz, where he scored 7 threes on 19 attempts. And Cade was playing, Tobias was playing, Ausar was playing, everyone was playing, and he scored 7 on 19. Why? Because Utah Jazz also allows the most threes. They allow the most transition points. They allow the most off-screen points, and they allow seventh most handoff points. So most above the break 3 points. So if there is a perfect matchup for Malik Beasley, it's Utah Jazz. Also Kessler in drop coverage of handoffs and pick and pops is also great. So
Yeah,
love
so
this
I was going to
matchup.
mention because he's minus 230 for 4 threes, which was a surprise for Roger Boy. I was going to mention, can you showcase how many attempts he's taken per game?
Yeah, I'll like in this spot where I said without Ivy,
He was like
and
19 in one game.
when he plays teams who are above average, he averaged 11 threes a game. And had season high 19 against this team, Utah Jazz, who allowed the most. So yeah, that's just one of the best possible matchups in the league. Like when he's playing bottom, let's say bottom of the league, like only bottom 6 teams in the 3 points allowed, he averaged 12.3. Yeah,
Yeah.
three is up, and I'll just look at the number. He's shooting 43% from the three, and he's league leader in threes. I think
He's playing
tied
on
with
like pretty like off the bench. He's like pretty historic 3-point season for a starter, and he's coming off the bench, so he will definitely be in some
yeah.
6-man
He
consideration.
averaged 27 minutes a game and leading the league in threes. Like tied with Steph for leading. It's really close. Steph 12 threes against Orlando. I think maybe put him on the top, but they are going back and forth.
Yeah. So yeah, 6-man considerations there for sure. This guy like outshoots the Orlando Magic on his own. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
His season. He's in for some pay, I think. But it's finally time to bring in our special guest for today's live stream. We have Prop Bomb, who is going to be joining us. We're going to be hearing from his picks. We'll also be answering your questions with him alongside us. And here he is. Thank you so much to you, Prop Bomb, for joining the show today. Thank you for patience as well. We started a little bit late for you here, but thank you for joining. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm happy to be on here. This is a really fun show. I always enjoy listening to it in the background to start my day. It's 10 in the morning here. I know, Pips, it's pretty late for you where you live. It's great. Does anyone recognize the background? Hopefully you watch the show. Severance. This is the
I don't watch
background.
it.
Oh no.
I,
No, I mean, happy to be on here and excited to talk some plays. I think it's a pretty cool slate today.
Yeah, we've got 4 plays so far from Pips. We'll hear from you as well, but just some general stuff before that. I know you're a Miami Heat fan. Miami 7th in the East, despite a under 500 record. How have you handled? How do you think the Heat have handled the Jimmy Butler situation throughout the season? What are your thoughts on that?
I think this is more so of like a placeholder season. I don't think this team has any goals of making a championship run this year. I think they're going to try to go and swing heavy for Durant in the offseason. That's my guess. This team is really frustrating to watch just in general. Always up big at half, especially like yesterday versus the Knicks, and they always find ways to blow leads. Yeah. They're a very defensive team, though. I mean, they're really good. They've been really good lately in terms of like stopping transition points from happening. I have been enjoying Andrew Wiggins. I mean, I think he's been a nice little like revelation for the team. Davion Mitchell seems to be having like a career revival. He's been excellent, when he gets the playing time. But I don't really have any hopes for them to make any runs. I mean, it's more so just like, Tyler Hero's been fun. But yeah.
What are your thoughts on Tyler Hero? Because he's the villain of this show for sure. It's just we have not had success betting Tyler Hero in the history of this show. Pips is not particularly a big fan of him to begin with as a player, but what are your thoughts on him? I know he's had an all-star season.
Yeah,
maybe argue against that, of him making the team, but yeah, your overall thoughts on him.
You want to know? I've never actually taken a Tyler Hero prop myself this season. I just can't touch him. I don't know. I think the lines are always like 26.5. You never know what to expect from him. Yeah, I don't really touch his props really, but he's extremely high volume in terms of his shots. So there's that.
What's your avoidance on him, Pips? What have you described him as in the past?
Yeah, Tyler Zero. I don't know. Like he has no correlation with performance with anything. Like opposing defense, opposing schemes, opposing matchup. Like no correlation whatsoever. So it's tough to predict. So always the best one staying away. Last night against the Knicks, I was like, okay, this is a great Tyler Hero spot. I won't bet it. I'll just check how he does, and he stayed under. So I think he was like 8 of 24. He had 25.5 line and didn't cover with 24 field goal attempts. So
I remember earlier in the season there was a bet I like this for Tyler Hero. Great bet, but it's Tyler Hero, so we're not betting it. We didn't bet it for the show. It would have been a loser. So it's just I think it's something like 0-6 last season with Hero. It's just so sometimes it's variant. Sometimes like Pip said, it's just the case of the matchup.
Yeah, he's very high variance, especially the shot that he takes. 100%.
Like he'll be playing the most difficult defense, he'll score 35. He'll be playing the easiest defense, he'll score 11.
Wizards. And I wanted to bet against people, which is crazy, but I made like some bet that his numbers earlier this season will crash down, and he will end up shooting the normal efficiency like he did in the entire career. And in the last 12 games, he is shooting 40% from the field and 24% from three. So it's trending on the right way.
That's good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think he'll end up like the thing is like he made the All-Star because of the efficiency, and it was just a fluke.
Well,
you think it was a fluke? I mean,
you can make he had a really good run, and that's worthy of an All-Star appearance sometimes.
And if you look at the efficiency at the end of the season, you'll see that it's like every other season. It will be there 100%.
Yeah. So I'm also seeing too, like as a Miami Heat fan and someone who is looking at Heat Twitter a lot, there are a lot of people upset with Hero and the fact that like he has these 30-point games, but they don't necessarily translate to wins. Mm-hmm. So they're like, he's kind of putting almost empty stats, but like what do you want him to do instead? I mean, how else could he be a better player? Maybe he has like offense really is just lackluster outside of Hero and Adebayo. I mean, really not that many role players that the Heat can have to be consistent options.
It's something that's really difficult to measure.
Yeah, true. Agreed. Have you seen Devin Mitchell like shooting 55% from the?
That's gonna come down because I know you're a Raptors guy. So yeah.
He had a good run before he got traded, but they've got Jamal Shed coming up now, so they wanted to give him more minutes. Mitchell's expiring end of the season, so why not get a second round pick to get off him? So I'm happy he's playing so well, and like you said, he revived his NBA career. I don't think there was doubts he'd get a contract after this year, but I think the term of that contract and the monetary value of that contract has increased. So, absolutely props to him for doing that. On the Hero winning stuff, go ahead, Pips.
I just wanted to say, like, when you look at the stuff over the last 2 seasons, combining, like that's a sample size of 120 games, he is shooting 37% from three, which is kind of decent.
It's fine.
Like
he's open, but it's fine. Yeah.
And then you have on the other side one of the best guards in the league, defensive wise. So he kind of has a spot, and if there is a one team that I can see him thriving, it's Maverick. He
Perfect
fits the
fit for
It was a
both
good fit.
perfect
I
fit
like
for
I like
culture.
too.
and he traded a second and PJ Tucker for him. So not
Yeah.
really much to get him.
Yeah.
And that's working out. PJ Tucker got waived. Now it took a while, but eventually he did get waived. But let's transition out into the betting. You mentioned it's an interesting slate here today. We've gone through all the games here, but we'll revisit wherever you want to go. Prabham, why don't you take us through anything that you've got for today?
Yeah, so originally I wanted to come on the show giving out Asar Thompson over 2.5 assists, but I'm not going to cheat because that right now is not even playable. It's minus 150. I can't do that. I don't think that's fair at all to the people watching.
Yep.
I think I've had a lot of success after the All-Star break in terms of targeting players in new situations books haven't caught up with yet. I'm going to go into the Sacramento Kings versus Dallas Mavericks game right now. I don't believe it's on FanDuel currently, but it is on 3 books. I like Jonas Valanciunas. I like him to go over 11.5 rebounds. It's minus 129 at Caesars. This guy has, the Sacramento Kings pretty much took a risk in the trade deadline. They pretty much paid the insurance that if Sabonis were to ever get injured, they have a really high quality center to back him up. I think he's safe to get at least 27 minutes tonight. You know how Doug Christie rolls out his starters. They always play him heavy minutes. Dallas Mavericks are a really good matchup here because, they're rolling out now. They have Moses Brown on the other end. Definitely a guy that can keep not so much of a high usage guy that can draw a lot of fouls. I don't know how Valanciunas could even get in foul trouble. Maybe Kyrie Irving or like Najee Marshall. But since the trade deadline, I used February 8th. The Dallas Mavericks are actually allowing the most rebounds per game. I think that's a pretty good stat to use. And, with Jonas on-off stats Sabonis off the court, Joval has a 23.42 rebound rate, which actually leads any single player right now in the league. Very good little advanced stats. It's a really, you're playing around with the filters right now. You can see a lot of green there. 11.5 rebounds. I still don't think is caught up yet. Again, you got to remember you're replacing someone who averages 14 rebounds per game. So really not a lot of guys on the Sacramento Kings I think could steal rebounds for him. DeRozan, these aren't guys that are really actively going for it. I think this is a pretty good number here. 11.5 rebounds is my play.
So we've got over 11.5 rebounds. Earlier today, we actually also have a Jonas Valanciunas play. We have him over 13.5 points. So a couple spots here on JV.
Nice.
Pips, you like the points here? We got problem on the rebound. How you feel about that? How do you like this play, Pips?
Yeah, makes total sense. I was like, the thing with the matchup is they are very small, and on the other side, I don't know who they even play. Dallas Mavericks.
Moses Brown.
Yeah, that's right. It's Moses Brown. I forgot they picked him up, but
Moses Brown.
Guy that's bounced around the G League.
And look at that hit rate on similar players against the Mavericks. I remember Mark Williams had 15 versus them.
Yeah, Sabonis had 15 himself. Like, what was it? Like,
but he played like 42 minutes. I don't think he can. Yeah.
Yeah, but he had 15. Everyone covered. Like, when look at the hit rate, did hit in. I'll just look at since Gafford injury, and that's like in the February. Hit rate on the single players is 5 out of 5. If you look at the centers, it hit 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 11, 9 out of 13. So yeah, it makes total sense. They all have overall 24 strength against the rebounds allowed, and it's only getting worse for them without PJ Washington now, without Gafford, without AD, without like. If it's Powell or Kai Jones trying to rebound next to Jonas, I will be surprised if he get like 4 to 5 offensive.
Yeah, they're very small.
Yeah, very like thin frame. So yeah, kind of makes sense. This is like him 22 plus minutes against teams who allow a lot of rebounds to bigs, averaging 14. while playing 25 minutes average. So
Yeah. I think the only thing that could really hurt this prop is, like I said, he just gets pulled or he loses minutes somehow. I've had my fair share of that when he was on the Wizards. Out of nowhere, he just doesn't close games. But I think in a new setting, a coach that really likes to run their starters big minutes, as someone who Doug Christie is, I think we should be safe. And it's, again, a new situation, something the books don't really factor in.
All right, so there we
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Also,
go ahead.
first game he played against the Houston Rockets, and now probably they are basing the numbers off of that game because that's the only game where he played 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And Rockets are a rough matchup for bigs.
Yeah. And probably can't say the same about Dallas these days. So JV over 11.5 rebounds from prop bomb, -129. There's -130s out there as well. There's even better in some regions if you can find that in your region. But for the widely available number, we'll play the -129 here. All right, first pick down. So we've got 5 picks on the show in total. Prop bombs or anything else you're looking at today?
I don't really have a second one, but I can share some leans that I had, if that's okay with you guys.
Of course, let's hear them.
Yeah, so in the Atlanta Hawks Memphis Grizzlies game, I think there's some value here, especially on the Atlanta Hawks side. They've faced 3 straight difficult matchups against teams that are really good at stopping transition. As I mentioned earlier on the show, the Miami Heat being one of them, OKC twice. So I think the Memphis Grizzlies is the exact opposite. They play very fast pace, bottom 10 defensive team, this month. Implied team total for the Hawks is 122 points. So there's going to be a lot of points. And I think there's some value here with this is why I couldn't make it official, because I can't decide who I want to do the over with. Either Ricochet or Dyson Daniels. Both these guys thrive in transition. George Niang is out tonight with an illness. I think that's going to open up some more value. The Hawks don't really have so many offensive weapons really at their disposal right now. Garrison Matthews is out of the rotation. They're without Jalen Johnson. They're without DeAndre Hunter. 14.5 points. I lean the over for Dyson Daniels. I think Jalen Wells is going to be really busy covering Trae Young. That's maybe going to open up a little bit of an easier matchup for Dyson Daniels. Even, like I said, Ricochet, the biggest thing with him, as a rookie has been he's a little inconsistent. The minutes really haven't always been there, but you look at who's surrounding him. I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name. What, Guay?
Just Gay.
Oh,
Muhammad Gay.
Just
Muhammad Gay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they don't really have any options. And I just I'm just doing some line reading and team total stuff. I think there's some value here on the non-Trae Young. Even the over assists, over 10.5, kind of juicy for Trae Young. Definitely think it's a nice spot to bounce back for the Atlanta Hawks.
I will say that between Dyson and Zachary, I'm leaning towards Ricochet because he was limited for the most season to 22 minutes, and last game he played 31. So if he's playing 30 plus against Memphis, who will take away Trae Young from the game? I don't know who else scores. So
exactly,
great spot. And look, you got the play types. They are third most points in transition allowed, 8th most to spot up, and 4th most free throws. Those are 3 ways Ricochet is scoring. Above the break threes as well, corner threes as well. So at the rim as well. Looks like a great matchup for him. And the line is kind of 13.5. But the Hawks are supposed to score 122 points. Who is going to score 122? If Zachary isn't scoring at least 50,
and that's why I was saying earlier, without Niang, I think that's going to open up some more opportunities for both these guys, because he's definitely taken a handful of shots when he's been on the team. I guess maybe Terrence Mann or Karis LeVert at that point. Who else scores?
Yeah, last time we took. I took Ricochet. He scored 2 points. So
yeah, that was tough.
It was an ugly one, guys. If you have any questions for me or
I'm happy to answer any questions.
We can get into the Q&A now. Actually, so we've got some people who've sent in their bets for the day. Want some reaction to that? We also have a general question, which we'll save more so to the end of the show here. But early on, Ailey Collin, they asked about Denny Avdia over 27.5 PRA. I'll bring this one up because it's first. And to remind you, if you send in the bets that you want reactions to, please send them in with prices attached, so it's a little bit easier for us to go through. But I see this one available at minus 115. How do you guys like this?
I could start first if you want.
Yeah, sure.
I think the rebounds, again, last game he went to overtime, so maybe he got a little bit more stats. Rebounds may be a little bit inflated because last game Klingon got in foul trouble, so we got more opportunities. I'm more so my approach with this Avdia prop is I kind of want to wait and see what's going on with Jerami Grant. He's questionable right now. Maybe him being out could be a little bit worse for the prop. But I mean, ever since like the start of the year, this guy has been, as people have been saying, like kind of like a Luka Doncic for this team. Incredible, like power dribbler to the basket, sets up his teammates through that, like the pressure that he creates. And yeah, I mean, he's going out of his way to rebound, start transition. 27.5 though, I think it's okay. I don't really see like it's like really juicy too, like minus 140 I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's juicy at 27 because people are betting it. I actually see Jeremy Grant as doubtful for this one. Probably between doubtful and questionable, I would say. Without him, he's going to start and play like 36 minutes. Last night against the Cleveland, he played 4, so he played 37 in the regular time, and it's big on the minutes. Like if you took a look at the Avdia with 30 plus minutes, 30 plus to 42, he averaged in 33.4 on the points one. Yeah, still great, but points, rebounds, and assists at 27.5, over in 14 out of 18. You can look at that. The matchup, it's kind of for the scoring wise, great matchup. For the rebounds, they allow average to assist one, above average. So
Yeah,
over.
but look, he was 10 for 12 on that game, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he was also chasing that triple double. You got to assume.
Yeah, sure, but he had 52 last night. Like it's not like he was close. He cleared this line by double, and against much more difficult matchup. Cleveland Cavaliers and 76ers are not comparable. So I would say I do lean over on this one as well. Obviously, we'd love to know the news about Jeremy Grant first.
Can I share another one real quick? That another lean I had. This was an under, so I'm giving out overs on the show. It's the Houston Rockets OKC game. I targeted this last time they played. The only reason why I'm not playing is because there's a lot of uncertainty right now with who's in and who's out on the Rocket side. Alperen Sengun under 20.5 points. Anytime he meets up against a physical type center, Isaiah Hartenstein on the other side. I know Chet's out. It's a little bit more harder to score. I know Pips is a Houston Rockets guy.
Alperen Sengun is our guy on this show.
If you look at like the head-to-head though versus OKC, he goes under that 3 straight games. Really, really tough inside matchup in the paint. This could be even a blowout because like it's a 9.5 point spread. I just wanted to wait and see though if I think Amen is questionable and who else? Fred Van.
Everyone is questionable.
Yeah, I mean like look at that. That's 20.5. Really, really, really good hit rate.
Using for this one minutes and top 10 against top 10 defensive teams with usage under 33%. Why usage under 33%? Because in 3 games against OKC, they held him to 22, 23, and 24. So 33 is way above that. They were sending doubles. Thing is, I do expect Chet to play in this one. He's questionable.
No, I don't. Is he going to play?
Yeah, I think he's playing. So he didn't play last night. They arrested him on the first night of back-to-back.
Oh, he is playing. Yes.
I think he's playing tonight. So yeah, overall, I do lean under on this as well. I actually mentioned before. So yeah.
So a couple leans, nothing official, but strong cases being made for Alperen Sengun. It's a shame. That's our guy on this show. But hey, sometimes you got to play an under on a guy you like because it's good. It's a good position to be in. So no problem there. We'll go back to the questions here. There are quite a few questions, I'll say. So don't feel like you need to spend.
Yeah, we'll be quick with it.
You don't feel like you need to spend time on them. But Gabriel asked about Steph on a points ladder, 30 plus points, plus 172, 40 plus at plus 1060. So last week he had that monster game. Could we be in for another big game here? Do you guys like the matchup?
I just think the blowout is so huge that he could sit out fourth, and then it's tough to get to the 40. Yeah, that's the most important thing for me in this one. Obviously, they can't stop him. But that's yeah. But I'll show you like quickly, nothing too much on this. Just showing that last time they played, he scored 15 points. So they kind of went after him. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a fun one, right? Because you're betting on Steph Curry. Normally, yeah, I mean, probably not something I would really lean into, honestly.
Yep. Fair enough there. We can go to the next question here. You guys, I think,
Yeah.
well, you mentioned Dyson Daniels, but over PRA. I know you mentioned points, but I'm sure something you'd also consider is the PRA 25.5 minus 108.
I think maybe he looks up that one because the last time that they played, Trae Young was out, so we had a little bit more of a passing role.
Okay.
Trae Young's playing this game, so a little bit less, and of course, like you got Karis LeVert. I think I would go just the points for him.
All right, so just the points from. So if you're leaning on Dyson Daniels, the points is the more favorable play here. So we can get the next one up. We've got Keon Ellis over 3.5 rebounds at plus 150. I'm going to assume it's over plus 115 here.
That's a weird one.
I don't normally, to be honest with you guys, I don't really normally bet guard rebounds. I think they're, for the most part, very random. Yeah, that's just my idea. If I'm betting on a rebound, I want to know someone who's at the time, all the time, going to be waiting, positioned to catch it. Is it like a hit rate play that stood out to him?
It's actually not. So I don't know what's the thing. He averaged 3 rebounds a game when he's playing 30 minutes, which is probably the most he can play again tonight. The matchup is good for rebounding, but yeah, I don't see it. Like Jonas being up there without Sabonis doesn't mean more rebounds to Keon because like they are rebounding at the same rate. Jonas and Sabonis, they're kind of the same. Like we need to find one rebounder that's more similar to the Valanciunas.
I think in general, Pips, you don't typically look at rebound just because the variance there, but always good to get some extra insight on these plays.
On guards and wings. Yeah, I do look sometimes for the bigs. Yeah.
We can bring up the next play here. We've got, let's see, Klay Thompson over 3.5 threes at plus 100.
He'll definitely. I mean, I think PJ Washington is out, right?
Yep. It's a hit rate. Like last.
Oh, is that what it is?
6-7 games, hit in six out of the last 7. Last time
can you go through the games and comb through like what he was shooting those games? Like, was he just ultra efficient?
4 from 9, 4 from 7. This one is above average. 5 from 10, 3 from 7, 5 from 7, 5 from 14, 5 from 10. So overall, I would say he averaged.
Yeah, 9. I would go like 6 to like 8. Or no, sorry, like 6 to 9 3-point attempts.
I would say 7 to 9.
7 to 9.
He had 7+ in all these games. So 4, I don't know, like plus 100 it's probably a good price. We can see that spot up, the Kings allow the most spot up, terrible off screen, terrible against handoffs, allows the third most above the break threes, a lot of corner threes as well. So great matchup. He already had 5 recently. So yeah, I lean over, but not much. I think this is probably fairly correct set.
I think it's fine. Yeah, I don't normally take.
I think Jonas is a bit slower than Sabonis, so he could still end up being in the deep drop coverage. So I do think it's a decent look.
Okay, we've got 2 more questions here before a general question. Next up, we have Tim Hardaway over 10.5 points at minus 104. You guys both seem to like.
Yeah, no, just like logic behind it is Utah Jazz. I love the most spot threes. No Tobias Harris, no Ivy. He should be playing 28 minutes on the ball against Cade, opening up stuff for Hardaway. So Number-wise, looks decent, but matchup-wise, I think the ceiling is high.
Yeah, and every time he's on the court, I assume Malik Beasley probably gets the start here. To Tim Hardaway is probably going to be the third or fourth option in the offense, so just always have to bear that in mind. 10.5 seems okay though.
Yeah.
All right. Last one, and you mentioned it on Osar Thompson, but maybe we go to a different direction here.
Yeah.
Go with rebounds and assists at -108, or Mike brought it up here at over 7.5 at -129. Not sure which one currently available, but Osar Thompson rebounds and assists, we'll say 8.5. What do you think there, Prop Bomb? You think you're okay with that as well?
Really lean the assists here, just because I could see him being Lauri Markkanen's playing, right?
Questionable, but he should play.
Yeah. I think with him, it's going to be I think he's going to play at least 28 minutes today, Osar Thompson. So, I mean, if you do like what the filters look like, 25 to 30 minutes. And yeah, I mean, Utah is probably going to have a lot of possessions in this game. They play very fast. I guess it's a route I would go. Obviously, I would really clearly like the assist. I think 2.5. It just moved on me though.
I would say with Harris out and if Malik is starting, Tobias is great rebounder for a wing, and Beasley not so much. So it
you're right. I actually got a good point. Like, who's going to be rebounding the ball?
Yeah, it's Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley both not rebounding. Durant will fight and start on the glass, so I think Ausar has a good chance to rebound, but not something I will bet. But I kind of understand where it's coming from, and I lean under. He can clear this with 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 6-3. Yeah, 4 for 5. Yeah, overall, great to have a shooting around him, so he can just drive and kick.
One thing I want to mention though about the Joval line, it is moving. So hopefully people got it in. It's now -133.
Hey, if you want good plays, they're gonna move, and you gotta watch live.
Moving.
If it doesn't
I didn't
move,
even give it out in my premium Discord yet. So
the people that give out plays that don't move all day, those are not the plays that you want. That's why we do live. That's why we encourage you to catch the show live. Thank you to everybody for sending in questions. We have one more general one to go through. We didn't get to all the player prop questions, unfortunately, but for the sake of time, we'll have to move on here. Last question. This was specifically directed at Pips, but I would also like your thoughts on this as a North American handicapper. But Pips, It's Me Dado asked about your like a typical day as a bettor living in Europe. But what does a typical day look like for you? Because it's obviously very different schedule wise, because me and Prop Bomb are Eastern time zone. I'm in Toronto. He's Miami. You're in Croatia. So what is it like for you?
Yeah, so it's kind of different last 2 months since I'm starting to go to our Props Madness office. I'm currently in right now. I'll just do this to like show off my guys working
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Those are my guys over there.
Yeah, and I go like 10 a.m. I get here like 10 to 11 a.m. Then I use 2 hours for opening research, write down the numbers. Then we go to the lunch. Then I go back, fire up some bets. That's still there, and then I just prepare for the show, do the show, go back home, enjoy some time off of the NBA, hang out with my girlfriend or stuff, and he gets back from the work, and then at 11 my time, but that's probably 5 p.m. your time, or like 10:30 my time here, I go back to the slate, and then for the next 5 to 6 hours, I do research and I watch the games and I repeat it next day. So every day I spend like 8 to 10 hours on the NBA stuff, like work or watching games and research, betting, or everything. Like 10 to 12 hours every day.
What's the sleep looking like? How much sleep you getting every day?
Yeah, it's been better lately. So I go to 3 a.m. and waking up like 9 or 10.
Okay, 6-7 hours.
Yeah, that's great. Now it was, but earlier last year and earlier this season, it was like from 5 to like 10 or 11. Still good like amount, like 6 hours, but the quality of sleep when the sun is already out is really so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Over to you, Prop Bomb. What does a typical day look like for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of go through 2 different shifts, like the morning shift right now. Looking at anything that is not moved overnight, take a little bit of a break. I really try to get some sun in. I live in Florida, so I'm very lucky, try to just separate. And then I come back around 4 p.m. to around 8 p.m. for what I call the second shift. And it's more so just me reacting to any injury news. Like I'm waiting on anything that could open up a little bit of another value. And it's just a pretty simple everyday life, just 2 different shifts, and get to wake up and just bet NBA, which I really love to do.
Yeah, you guys, you specifically enjoy the sunshine. You guys don't even want to know what it's like in Toronto the last few weeks. The amount of snow and how cold it's been lately. Thankfully, it's going to be above 0 Celsius this week, so it'll be not completely freezing outside.
Oh, just so say, like we didn't say it during the show, like and subscribe, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Numbers, we are winning, so yeah, we deserve it. So
I feel really good about these. Yeah.
The show's winning, up 32.5 units lifetime. That's across 3 seasons. We're on a 22-5 run, so we're putting together a fantastic season at the moment. So please make sure you guys have liked and subscribed. Make sure as well you support Prop Bomb. Before we go into the recap and end out the show, Prop Bomb, I have your Twitter handle linked in the description of this, wherever you're watching. But why don't you let everyone know where else they can find you, what you're up to, and what they can expect if they do follow you?
Yeah, most of my stuff right now is behind the paywall on Discord. I like to post 1 free play a day on a 14-5 run, which is great. Definitely you caught me at the right timing. But yeah, no, everything is, if you want to see the full package, you go on my profile on Twitter and you just click the link and it goes to Dub Club, which is, you get access to the Discord. Next month's going to be really exciting. Baseball's coming along. I'm going to be doing some baseball over there. And it's really everything.
Yeah, Dub Club can often be met with some criticism, but you're tracking picks along the way, and you're making.
No, I'm working behind the scenes. Sure. Like definitely a little bit of like toxicity and negativity behind Dub Club and like the brand, but yeah, we're definitely working with them to try to clear that air out, and I think make it a little bit more of a better space. I think with tracking a little bit more legitimacy, and I have a track record. Anytime if anyone wants to see like all my plays being tracked, I'm gonna try to pin that to my profile. And everything is really 1 unit straight plays, 60% win rate.
There you go. So putting together a good year. Make sure you do follow him. But thank you so much for watching the show today.
Yeah.
We had 5 official.
Love to be back on again.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to have you back. We have 5 official picks for today, including the one that was brought on by Prop Bomb for the show. Make sure you do hit the like if you're tailing the plays today. Here is the recap. So these are Pips' 4 plays of the day. It's Miles Bridges under 11.5 rebounds plus assists at -122. Bam Adebayo over 19.5 points, -111. We have Jonas Valanciunas over 13.5 points, -120. Malik Beasley, 4+ threes. Cade Cunningham, 8+ assists on an SGP for -120. To clear up the Bam Adebayo play, we had it originally -118 on FanDuel. It moved like way too quickly for me to want to make the official number. So we went with another number available, -111, which is why I did not mention it when it happened. But just to clear up on that. The Prop Bomb play, we're also going to Jonas Valanciunas over 11.5 rebounds at -129, which brings us to 5 official picks for the day. Thank you so much to Prop Bomb for joining us. Thank you so much to you for tuning in. Me and Pips are live here every weekday morning at 9:45 a.m. Eastern time for shows just like this. Pips has been crushing it for 3 years straight. He is crushing it this season. This content is free. These picks are free. You can subscribe to get it every weekday morning, 5 days a week. Make sure you guys do bring that support, and we will see you again next time for more from the Pick and Roll live stream on the Board YouTube channel presented by FanDuel.